All right, guys, let's get started on your quiz. So just to make sure we understand what we're supposed to type in and what we're supposed to do on this quiz, you will need a piece of graph paper, okay? Not for question one, but for every, I don't know, a few of these questions. So on number one, it says Jane has 2 shirts for every pair of pants in her closet. So we are going to use that information first to complete this table. That we can just type into these boxes. So of course, if she has 0 pairs of pants, that means she has 0 shirts. If they tell me something like this, 2 shirts for every pair of pants, 2 shirts per pair of pants, that's a unit rate right there, or a K. And that's why if she has 1 pair of pants, 1 times 2 is 2, that means she has 2 shirts. So if she has 2 pairs of pants, she must have 4 shirts. 3 pairs of pants must be 6 shirts. 4 pairs of pants must be 8 shirts. And then they stop following this nice pattern right here. And not only do they stop following the pattern, but now they're giving me shirts. If she has 20 shirts, how many pairs of pants must she have? Well, when we're going this direction, we were timesing by 2. So now going back this direction, we're thinking what times 2 would give me 20, which is also division. So 10 pairs of pants would be 20 shirts. So the first thing we're going to have to do on these problems is fill in a table. Use the information to fill in the table. Okay, so then question number 2. This is where you need your graph paper. It says draw a graph of the table from number 1. So let's make sure we can set this up. So I am going to switch views here so that you can see my paper. You need a piece of graph paper. So on this, with this scenario and with most of the proportional scenarios that we're looking at, I'm gonna write on my paper that this is number 2, because number 1 was filling in the table. Now I'm graphing things, right? So I had in my table pairs of pants was the first column. That's what I put on the x-axis. I always go x and y. So I'm gonna write this so that we remember, okay? So x is the pairs of pants and y is the shirts. Now in my table, they went 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it jumped to 10 on the pairs of pants. We could make it go that far if we wanted to. So I am going to have right here, or we don't have to. We don't have to go all the way up there if we don't want to. But I'm going to I want to make sure I have enough room this way. So I'm going to start here, and then when I start moving, I'll start counting. And I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, and I'm going to label those in a second. And then this direction, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Doesn't have to be exact, but that's what I want to do. So I'm going to have X and Y. And then this is, of course, 0 for both of them. This is 1, 2, 3. Notice how I'm counting them all, but I'm not actually labeling them all. Sometimes I don't want to label everything. And even if I do that, can you still tell really clearly what numbers are there, right? We know that if this says 0 and this says 2, this must be a 1 in between. I only labeled the evens. The odds are there. I just didn't label them. And I'm going to do the same thing this way. 1, 2. It just becomes less annoying to label all this if you don't necessarily do every single one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Look what I did right there. I wrote an odd. I was like, why isn't this working out? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8 right there. 9 and 10 is up there. Okay? So now I'm ready to take that information. Oh, just kidding. I'm not really ready. I actually need something else on this graph. The x-axis is pairs of pants. And the y-axis is shirts. A good graph has everything labeled. Now that I remembered that, I might have shifted that over a box on my next graph so that I have enough space to label it. So I need labels with the numbers. I need to show the scale that I'm using, and I need labels with words. I need to show this is on the x-axis, this is on the y-axis. Notice this is only quadrant 1. And that's because there's no such thing as negative pants and negative shirts. It doesn't apply in this scenario. So we only need quadrant 1, where everything's positive. All right, so coming back to the table, we of course know 0 shirts, 0 pants. So now I'm just taking my table, which is really a lot of ordered pairs, and I'm putting them on the graph. So if I had 1 pair of pants, that was 2 shirts. 2 pairs of pants was 4 shirts. 3 pairs of pants was 6. 4 was 8. The difference here is that you have to, unlike on the notes and things that we filled out, you had to make your own scale first. You had to draw the x-axis, label it out, draw the y-axis, label it out. Make sure you have enough room to show at least 3 dots. You don't always have to fit everything, but you do need to at least show 3 dots. Otherwise, and that's not very good straight line, but there we go. I connected the dots. And you can also see from this that it's definitely a proportional relationship because I've got a straight line that goes through the origin. Okay, so what happens next? Well, take a look at number 2. Number 2 asks you to take a picture of it. So you are going to take a picture of every graph as you go here. So question 2 says draw a graph on your paper and then upload a photo. So you'll hold this up and show in your camera just that, take a picture of that, upload your photo of graph number 2, okay? And that means you won't actually see a score when you won't see an accurate score when you're done. I'll have to go through and grade those pictures. I want to see your graphs. Which ordered pair represents the unit rate in your graph? Well, the unit rate is always the one that starts with 1, right? So that's 1, 2 is the unit rate. That's the ordered pair that represents the unit rate. That's 1 pair of pants for 2 shirts or 2 shirts per pair of pants. Remember, the ordered pair is x, y, and the unit rate is y over x. And so what is the unit rate in this situation? If this is my ordered pair, 1, 2, 2 over 1 is 2, and the y is shirts. So not this one, 2 pairs of pants per shirt. No, 2 shirts per pair of pants. Okay, and then it just repeats that. New situation, you fill in the table, make a graph on your paper, and then show me a picture for number 6, and then answer a couple questions. If you have any questions at all, please, of course, ask me.